What's going on there, guys? My name is Matt, or Chewy, as most of you will know me as, and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 video. We're actually not doing any flying today, but as you can tell by the title of the video, I wanted to cover something which is brand new, innovative in the new simulator, which has never been done before, and something which I think, especially for people coming into this simulator and into flight simulators in general, for the first time will find very, very helpful. And that is the new in-sim UI. You can see we're down on the ground here in the Cessna Citation at Salt Lake City. I've just loaded us in at. And as I move the mouse around the screen, you can see this kind of white tab bar appears. And if we hover over the top of it, it reveals a lot of buttons that we can click on, which go into various sub-menus. And so we'll just very quickly run from left to right, explaining what each of them do. The first one being air traffic control. So you can see here, if we wanted to use the built-in air traffic control system within Microsoft Flight Simulator, we could do. You can choose what the different comm radios are set to which frequency, talk to all of the different ATCs to request different things. So here we've got Salt Lake Ground on 123775 tuned, and so if we wanted to request anything on here, we could just click on these. We can also go to the ground services page, and we can request pushback and fuel supply on here as well. So that's the first menu, nice and simple. Not something that I'll admit that I've used too much, but it's quite a useful thing if you do use that inbuilt ATC. The second one across is the camera menu. This is quite complex if you really get into the major elements of it over time. There's lots of different options that you can edit here, and of course you see all of the changes in real time. I won't quite get into all of those now, but I'll just give you a quick flick through some of the options that you can select here, and you can move about within the simulator. There we go. You've got the cockpit camera section, you've got the external camera section. Again, you can change all of these features. You can, move around with the zoom levels, do all sorts of things. And again, you've got more quick views that can be selected here as well. Another thing to note is that all of these menus that these sub-menus here, you can put into like an external view. So if I wanted to drag it off screen so that it wasn't in the way of the simulator itself, you can drag it off the screen, but we'll just click X off that and keep it back into the sim. And then you've got the showcase view as well. So, you've got camera drone mode and all of these different things. I don't really want to go into detail about, the specifics in each sub-menu right now. I just want to give you guys a nice, quick, brief overview of what each of these sub-menus do. I'm sure there'll be loads of other content creators who look through these sub-menus in a lot more detail than I will today. Option number 3 from the left is the checklist system, which Microsoft have made a big deal about, including things to help you start up aircraft if you're brand new to them and have never flown them before. You don't need to look on YouTube or on Google for any sort of help now. You can do it right in the simulator. And so you can see here, just for the Cessna Citation, we've got the starting engine checklist. And what you can do is, for the parking brake, for example, we can click on here and it will show you where it is. So if we select the I key there, if we move around with our view, there you go, it's got the parking brake highlighted for us, which is really, really useful, again, for those people flying this simulator and flying certain types of aircraft for the very first time. And again, that can be, taken out of the simulator if you don't want that to disturb any of your view in the sim. And you can tick each item as you do them. There you go. Tick each one as you go through and run through there like so. So that's the checklist system. Again, I'm sure that will be shown in more detail at another point in time. Fourth one across is the basic controls page, something which can be quite useful if for whatever reason you guys forget what buttons, when you're using a complex HOTAS system like me here with the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog, you can sometimes forget exactly which button is which. So it's useful just to have this up, potentially if you do forget anything, just to make sure that you've got the correct things binded with all of the different numbers. Next one across from there is the AI control. And this is something that will be great for people who just want to get in the sim and fly and not have to faff around with starting things up. So you can ask the virtual first officer, we'll say, to do the checklist assist. You can ask them to manage all of the radio communications if you just want to concentrate on flying and nothing else. And if you really want to sit back and put your feet up, you can ask them to control the entire aircraft. So 3 different levels of automation here with the simulator. I'll admit I've not really tried these too much. Maybe it's something I can do in the coming weeks if people would like to see some videos on these things. But again, it's just in a quick grab menu here. So if you are interested in those types of controls, you can easily access them. Next one across is fuel, another really important thing. You can switch between gallons and pounds here and obviously edit the fuel that you would like and the payload that you would like in your aircraft. You can see for this specific aircraft all of the bits of detail there, and what's really nice here is that it shows you, the max allowable fuel and payload and what your takeoff weight is. So once again, really nice that this is such an intuitive menu system to use. You can just use the sliders as you like, or you can type in here blah 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 and input exactly what you want, and it will load into the aircraft straight away. No hassle. Anti-faff, as I like to say. From there, we've got the nav log. Today, I just decided to load in a quick flight plan from Salt Lake City to Denver, not that we're actually planning to fly it. And you can see all of the details here for the waypoint names, the heading between each of them, the distance, all of those kind of things, the estimated time en route, which is really useful if you are using the inbuilt flight planning software, just so that you can keep an eye on things if you're not using the CDU for whatever reason and would like this up. And, you can see all the details that's on the screen there. You can even start the stopwatch if you'd like to. Let's go outside again, shall we? From the navlog, we've got the objectives menu. And you can see here, again, this is something that I've not really used too much, but it's just the next thing that we need to do on our list. I'm sure this will be great if you're doing challenges and things like that, which will come included in the simulator, but not something that will be very useful for me. But if you are doing a mission or a challenge or something, again, you can easily access this top toolbar and check what your next objective is. From there, we've got the travel to. Now, this is something that I've tried once before and it didn't really work too well. So it will be great to see how this develops over time after the release of this simulator. But this is a really cool concept that I've seen before in other simulators. But I'm really happy to see that Asobo Studios and Microsoft have chosen to put this in this simulator. And essentially, it does what it says in the tin. If you are doing a long flight and you get bored in cruise, the essential concept is that you can just click on a certain phase of the flight and accept it, and it will take you to that stage. And then you can finish off your flight from there. So if you get bored, you can't be bothered to sit through cruise or through climb or through descent, or if you want to skip to those specific sections and practice those areas of your flying, you can do so with the simple click of a button. After that is the VFR map, another really useful thing to have open. Again, this is a really nice thing that I would probably use, not in the simulator and put on a different screen, just so that if, we're flying around and I'm using an aircraft that maybe doesn't have an inbuilt Garmin G1000 GPS or anything like that, if I wanted to keep up to date with what's going on and where we are in the world, I can do so easily on here. We can zoom all the way in on Salt Lake City. You can see the layout of the airport and the taxiway markings. Well, you can't see the markings, but you can see the layout of the taxiways at least, and it's got various bits of information. You can do GPS tracking so that it will always center onto your aircraft and other things like that. So this is one of the more useful things, I think, just so that you can always be aware of where you are in the world. It's very easy to kind of get lost, especially if you're doing VFR flying and not really have any clue where you are on the map sometimes. So this is nice just to quickly go up the top, click that button, and then you'll instantly be able to have some more acclimatization with where you are in the world. Let's click off of that, and then the last one is my favorite one, the weather. This is something that I think I'm going to do a completely separate video onto how amazing the weather customization is, but I'll do a quick preview for you here. If you want to switch away from live weather and you want to go into something else, again, it is at the palm of your hands with a simple click of a button. Look at that. Few clouds, scattered clouds, high level clouds, overcast, rain, and the best thing about it is that you can customize all of these things. So let's add a bit of lightning in, shall we? Let's change the time of day, shall we? Make it nice and spooky here. Look at the lightning effects. It's absolutely terrifying. Change where the cloud base is in a matter of seconds. Again, this is something that I think I will go into further depth about in another video if other content creators haven't already. But it is just so cool to see a really, bloody hell, that was terrifying, a really easy to use weather system where we can just switch within a matter of seconds between so many different custom presets, but not only use those custom presets, edit them to our own accord as well, right in the simulator, without having to go into any external menus and pause the flight, for example. The last thing to show is the settings for the custom toolbar, where you can disable these. So I'm sure some people are like, oh my god, look at how intuitive that is on the screen. I don't want all of these buttons everywhere. Well, if you don't want them, you can turn them off one by one. You can turn off the whole bloody lot if you really want to. But yeah, one by one, you can turn them off and use them as you like. Whether you just want one or two, or whether you want the entirety of the bar at the top, you can edit that. Again, I know I keep saying it, but with the click of a button. So just a small 10-minute video showing you the new custom toolbar in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope you don't mind that it was a little bit of a rushed video and just a quick overlook at the system. Again, I'm sure there will be other videos, and I can even go into further depth on all of these sub-menus if you would like me to. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and also leave a comment down in the description below letting me know how excited you are for this new simulator and what other content you'd like me to create. That's it for me today, though. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching.